All right, let's leave the dock. So I decided to go ahead and take a little trip. It's sun just coming up. You can kind of see it behind the houses here. So it's, I don't know, 6:45, something like that. Got the boat loaded up this morning. I think I'm just gonna go up under the bridge, under the highway here, and drop the anchor, throw a few lines out, see if we can catch some fish. It'll be fun. Seems like a nice day for a little run in the boat though. I love my coffee in the morning. I don't usually do this. I usually take one of those non-spill cups and I make myself a cup of coffee when I go out. Well, today I decided to take a whole French press and I prepped the coffee and the water in it. It's sitting in the edge of one of the empty, you know, bait wells, if you will, just because that way if it spills, I can rinse it out really easy. Once I anchor, which is only going to be 10 or 15 minutes up the river here, I'll make myself a little French press, brought myself a little mason jar full of creamer, and yeah, it's going to be nice. Be a nice little view of coming out the canal here to the harbor. Well, I can already tell I'm going to regret leaving my sunglasses in the car. Dang it. So from the camera view right there, we make a right at that red marker and we're just a couple streets down, which is nice. Not sure what's going on, but I just heard an alarm here. It looks like I got low oil pressure. You know, I didn't check the oil level today. I usually check it every time I go out, but I checked it just a couple of weeks ago and haven't taken it out since then, so I figured everything was fine. Let's see. Oil pressure's climbing right back up. So it looked like it was about a half a quart low. I just checked it, started back up. I'm gonna go ahead and fish for a little while before I go back home. Honestly, it's a half mile to where I'm fishing, 3 miles back to the house. When I stop there, I can take another closer look. All the gauges seem to be fine now. I do wonder though, it's been a while since I had the bottom cleaned, and I know there's a lot of growth on there, so it could very well be that I just need to really get that thing cleaned up. I was putting a little undue stress on it, I don't know. The breeze feels good, just putzing along here at a whopping 7 knots, so it feels good. It'll be nice when I anchor under the bridge. It'll be in the shade. Nice breeze today. It's only in the high 70s, so it feels nice. You know, what's that old saying? A bad day of fishing beats a good day of working. This isn't too bad. I'm anchored, as you can see, right by a bridge. I'm kind of underneath the edge of the bridge. Just trying to fish the structures right here. Get a few bites, not much. Probably not rigged up right, and all I had were some frozen sardines. So, you know, good size, 4-inch ones. I'm cutting them in half and just using big circle hooks out here. Most everything is catch and release right now. Redfish is catch and release, snook catch and release, tarpon is always catch and release. Anyway, there's a kind of emergency order of the Florida Parks and Florida Wildlife. A bunch of these are catch and release right now. So anyway, mangrove snapper or not, if I get a couple of mangrove snapper, we'll have a nice meal out of that. Oh, and as I mentioned before, got the French press of coffee right here. It's nice. So I was fishing one on the bottom, one just free line, and this is the one that was free lining. So just an egg sinker with the weight going out and letting it carry forward. And then I was just throwing a lure along these bridge pillars here. Probably about the end of the fishing right here too. Typically it's best on an incoming tide right up until high tide. So tide's been going out for about the last 30 or 45 minutes. I might be at the peak of it, but you know what, like I said, it was a fun day, even if I don't end up catching anything. Now the fish aren't biting very well. Like I said, tends to do better on a incoming tide, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull them all on up, go on back home. Couple of bites, no catches. So I'm still getting used to how much a small boat moves around. This thing's 27 feet. Not tiny, but man, it moves a lot compared to the big old sailboat. Still getting used to that. Definitely had a lot of grass coming through here with the tide going out. You know, I think I'll probably just throw these out in the canal behind the house when we get home. They're rigged up. I've got some bait defrosted, may as well. Since we hadn't taken the boat out for a while, I had left one of the batteries on and the other one off. At the dock just to let the bilge pump run. I think we did that when we were in Louisiana and left it on. I went out here to go ahead and start it, and it wouldn't start off of that one battery. So I put it to the other side, started the engine up, no problem. While I ran over here, and again, not very long, I ran over here with it on both so that the alternator would charge both batteries. I got here and put it back on the house bank, essentially, and it wasn't even enough to run the GPS, the chart plotter, nothing. So I just have the batteries turned off right now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back on, get the motor started. Always do that before I pull up the anchor just to make sure there's no problem. And I should be fine, but it's always nerve-wracking. I really enjoy having that second battery as that backup. I think it's time to get a battery charger in this thing and plugging it at the dock. I haven't been doing that because we've been using it a little bit more regularly. Now that we're not using it very often, and when we do, we're just buzzing out for 10, 15 minutes and back. It's not enough to really let the alternator do a good job of getting these things topped back up. I'd rather keep them topped up normally. So we got power at the dock. I just need to get a little battery charger in here, probably a trickle charger sort of thing, or maybe throw a solar panel up on the bimini. I'm not sure. Something for sure. Now let's get this battery turned on. No problem. Now that it's started, I went ahead and set it back to both, mainly just because I want to see it, let it charge as much as it will on the second battery before we head on back. All right, with the motor started, I'm just going to come up front, get the anchor pulled up. I got to pull it up kind of fast now because the current's running out. I don't want to get into this. That bridge. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and head under the bridge and head on back. As I mentioned before, I'm probably not going to go crazy with my speed on this, just because of that weird thing the engine did before. There's some submerged pylons right up here. They're probably way out there. I just don't like taking a chance of getting anywhere near them. So I always avoid them on the chart and go a little parallel to the bridge until I get to the main channel up here. I'm gonna get up on a plane and just kind of keep an eye on all the gauges and see what's going on. How great is this? We got a sailboat coming out under sail. Good for him. Sailing vessel outbound from the Isles Canal. Sailing vessel outbound from the Isles Canal. Here, read.
Slash Captain, switching out to 22 Alpha.
Hey, I'm a little powerboat coming at you. I'll stick way over here to the right, and if you need the room, just come your way and I'll move out of the channel. That's the way to do it, Skipper. Under sail, right out. I wanted to give him plenty of berth. I went ahead and went out of the channel because I know I'm still okay depth-wise. And what he yelled back to me is, "Thanks a lot, Skipper. There's a sandbar right here, and he's tapped it before." So he wanted to swing a little bit wide of it. So pretty cool. Never actually gone all the way down our canal before. I figured I would check it out. Yeah, I see the tarpon right up here in the water. See if I can catch it on the GoPro up here, but there's tarpon turning over right here in the canal. This is wild to me. They have sailboats up on lifts. It's just amazing. Certainly lighter than ours, but that's pretty wild that they can get those lifted up. Be great for the bottom. Another successful docking. You know, every trip with the boat ends the same way. It's sort of clean up and you gotta, you know, get everything organized again and covered on and all that kind of stuff. But I do enjoy taking my time. Wash my hands a little bit here. I'm also gonna rinse off the forward bait well. It's a nice day, enjoy it. I already took the baggie off the boat for the bait, so I'm just gonna slap it up on the dock here. It's still fairly frozen. I really like having these little shower things with the water pressure. It's nice just to be able to rinse stuff off right away. Little pieces of fish out of there, and then it's got a drain. Rinse it all right down the drain.